Welcome back to Face the State. History was made this week when Joe Biden selected California Senator Kamala Harris to be his running mate. With us now, Kevin Rennie, Hartford Courant columnist and author of DailyRuctions.com. Kevin, thanks for being with us again.
You're welcome.
So
Thank
first
you
of
for
all,
inviting me.
Your reaction to the selection of Senator Harris as the running mate?
I think it's a good choice. You know, she fulfills the most important qualification, which is she could do the job if she had to become president of the United States.
You know,
and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's first. That's your first consideration.
You need someone who's a plausible president.
Yes, who's credible as a vice presidential candidate. Their credibility all derives from, can this person be president if she has to be, and certainly she fulfills that. She's an experienced campaigner, and I think Joe Biden appreciates that. She's a very good fundraiser. In fact, she received campaign contributions from Donald and Ivanka Trump, which in previous campaigns, we'll probably hear a little bit more about that in the next few months.
I'm sure we certainly will. You know, looking back at the previous presidential elections, I can't remember, Kevin, where they did all these polls and surveys on who should be Biden's pick. And she was number one for the last 6 months, steadily on just about every survey out there. But I can't remember another time when that ever happened, where the obvious pick became the pick.
I think that's true. I do think that this much vetting and testing in public is a more recent phenomenon. But I do think that she was, as soon as he said this winter that he was going to pick a woman as his running mate, that I think she became the presumptive choice, and that the only way she wasn't going to be chosen was if something damaged her severely, or there was some other really unusually outstanding candidate. And I think that never materialized.
Joe Biden turns 79 in the year 2021. If he's elected, do you believe he will run again, or do you believe he already knows he's not going to do it?
I think he knows enough, having lived for 78 years, that you just can't predict these things. And I think if he is elected, he will probably like being president very much. And they don't give it up very easily, no matter what the age. It's funny as you look back and think that Ronald Reagan was 69 when he was elected in 1980. And that was a big issue at the time.
Certainly was.
That Ronald Reagan had to prove early in his campaign that he had the energy and stamina to be president of the United States.
Do you believe that President Trump will replace Mike Pence on the ticket with a woman?
No, I don't think so. I think we would have gotten some hints of that by now. But you know, he's quite mercurial. One of the advantages I think that Kamala Harris brings is that she will be able to deal with his taunts and insults, either with pointed responses of her own or telling silence, and he's not going to be able to resist.
You know, there are some Democrats who believe this is still going to be a tough race. How do you see it?
You know, we are politically a deeply divided nation, but I do think that Joe Biden starts with a big advantages, and we saw some of that in the Connecticut Republican primary yesterday, where essentially unopposed, Donald Trump was unable to break 70% of the Republican primary vote in places like Greenwich and Darien and West Hartford. Those are affluent suburbs, and he needs to do well in suburbs like that in and around Philadelphia, Detroit, Cleveland, and Milwaukee. If Connecticut is any example, those Republican voters are abandoning Donald Trump.
So much has happened since 2016. Me Too. There's a new sympathetic view of Monica Lewinsky, the Jeffrey Epstein case. In 2018, you didn't see much of Bill Clinton on the campaign trail, and yet he's been offered a primetime speaking spot at the convention next week. What's your reaction to that?
I was surprised. But they may just be observing the tradition of former presidents extended an invitation to speak at a national convention. Although I don't think George W. Bush has been back to a Republican convention since 2004. But I was baffled by that invitation and the prominence of the spot that he's been given.
And Jimmy Carter hasn't been to one since 1980.
Oh, all right. There you are.
So it is a while. Kevin Rennie from Hartford Courant and dailyructions.com. We thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your
You're
weekend.
welcome.